Hello students, this is your science sir, Vardhan sir. We are discussing the topic of the lesson is changes around us. Okay, we are going to almost complete the lesson today in this video. So today we have to discuss the subtopic is 3.7 exothermic and endothermic chemical changes. Okay, already we completed physical change. From chemical change, many of the subtopic we discussed. Today we are going to discuss about exothermic and endothermic chemical changes. Okay, first of all, I have to explain about thermal. The meaning of thermal is heat. Exo means out. Okay, heat will be go out. Okay, heat will be go out, which is the exothermic. The meaning of endothermic is endo in the sense heat will comes inside. Heat will be come inside. Okay, so the heat will be come inside in the sense endothermic. Okay, exothermic and endothermic chemical changes, that only we are going to discuss. Students, listen carefully. Just as the physical change, already we discussed about physical change, in physical change, it's a temporary change. There is no new product will be formed. Okay. But chemical change, which is the permanent change, there will be new product will be formed. Okay. So, listen here, just as the physical change, chemical reaction will be either endothermic or exothermic. கெமிக்கல் ரியாக்ஷன் நடக்கும்போது வெளியில் இருக்கிற ஹீட்டை அப்சார்ப் பண்ணிக்கும், இல்லைனா இருக்கிற ஹீட்டை வந்து வெளியே விடும். ஓகே, ஸோ ஐதர் எண்டோதெர்மிக் ஆர் எக்ஸோதெர்மிக். Okay students, for this explaining about these changes, we have to consider an activity. Okay students, listen carefully. In this activity I am going to read now. Ask students to stretch both hands. Put a pinch of soap powder in one hand and a pinch of glucose in the other hand. Okay students, you can imagine or you can think there. Okay, what would be happen there? Okay, add a few drops of water to the soap powder and ask how the students feel upon adding water, and now add a few drops of water to the glucose at the other hand. Okay, what will be happen? Okay, if we add water to the soap powder, so there will be heat comes out. If we add water to the glucose powder, the heat absorb from the surrounding. I told you already, exothermic and endothermic, heat will be liberate or heat will be absorbed from the surrounding. Okay students, in this activity the students reported that he or she felt the warmness in the palm when water is added to soap powder. In right, we saw that the burning of magnesium ribbon gives out heat and light. Similarly, burning of wood also releases heat and light. Such changes in which heat is released are known as exothermic changes. Okay, heat will be released or known as exothermic changes. Students, you are seeing the pictures, endothermic and exothermic. Okay, what will be happen? Okay, crystals, which means the material which has regular shape or definite shape. நல்ல ஒரு வடிவம் இருக்கும், cubical shape ஏதோ ஒரு அந்த substance, that substance has the definite shape. Okay. So particles of solid, to that particles of solid we are giving heat. After heat, the materials, the particles can expand, expansion there. Okay, which will become starts melt, which will becomes melting. Okay, like that vaporization. To that vaporization, okay, this is exothermic. Okay, particles of liquid we are giving to cool. How which will get cool? The heat absorbed from surrounding, okay, which will contraction, then becomes freezer there. And the particles of gas, we are cooling there, which will get contraction, becomes liquid, then it will be condensation, Okay students, next we are going to discuss about this exothermic. There are some changes. Next we are going to discuss about endothermic changes. There are some changes in which heat is absorbed. For example, water absorbs heat when it evaporates to form water vapors. Similarly, ice absorbs heat when it melts to form water. Okay, such changes in which heat is absorbed are known as endothermic changes. Okay, dissolution of glucose in water is also an endothermic changes. Dissolution of glucose in water is also an endothermic change. Okay, students, till now we discussed about exothermic change and endothermic change. Now we are going to discuss about periodic and non-periodic change. Okay students, I can say simply, if it is periodic change and a non-periodic change, so it is the depending on whether or not a change repeats itself after a definite period of time. You know students, period, your period is 45 minutes, okay, which has some certain time, like that. If the change will be happen in particular change, which is the periodic change, if the change will not happen in a particular change, which is the non periodic change. For that only we are going to discuss now. Depending on whether or not a change repeats itself after a definite period of time, it can be classified as periodic change or a non-periodic change. First of all, we are going to discuss about periodic changes. Periodic changes that repeat themselves after a definite interval of time are called periodic changes. For this, we have some examples. We can say some example that seasonal changes. We can say seasonal changes. Rotation and revolution of Earth. Okay, Earth is revolving around the sun, you know. So we can say like that example. Beating of the heart per minute. Heart. Heartbeat is, we can say, 72 times, you know. Clock striking every hour. Motion of the seconds and minute hand, hour hand of a clock are some examples of periodic changes. Okay students, we can notice every year seasons changes. We go from rains to winter and winter to summer and so on. So these are all periodic changes only. Okay students, think yourself, what types of clothes are worn in winter? Okay, what types of clothes you can wear in the winter, and what types of clothes you can wear in the summer time? Why you are wearing like that costumes? Okay, if the winter season changes into summer, We observe change in the texture type of clothes we wear. Okay. We wear woolen cloths in winter and cotton cloths in summer. Similarly, we observe that the winter season is cool and the summer season is hot. Okay. In winter, duration of night is longer than summer. Okay. During winter, the duration of night time is longer than in summer. We take cold drinks in summer but prefer hot tea, coffee, or milk in winter season. These changes that we observe show the change of seasons. Okay, the seasons and changes in weather occur because earth rotates on its fixed axis. Changing seasons are almost periodic in nature. Okay students, till now we discussed about periodic change. Now we are going to discuss about non-periodic changes. Who are all in which are the places and all the nature things occurring in a non-periodic, non-definite time. Okay, changes that do not repeat themselves after a definite interval of time and occur randomly are called non-periodic changes. Eruption of volcano, occurrence of an earthquake, okay, a streak of lightning flash across the sky during a thunderstorm, running of a batsman between the wickets, movement of legs while dancing are a few examples of non-periodic changes. Okay, once again I'll tell you students, if there is non-periodic change, there is no definite time period. Okay, once again I'll tell you the examples of non-periodic changes. Non-periodic changes means there is no definite time, maybe which will happen sudden. Okay, example of eruption of a volcano, occurrence of the earthquake, a streak of lightning flash across the sky during a thunderstorm, running a batsman between the wickets, movement of legs while dancing are a few examples of non-periodic changes. So in questions, book back questions, this is based on this two or more question answer there. Okay students, till now the lesson comes an end. Thank you students, thank you very much.